Hey everybody, my name is Veelia and it's time for part 4 of my Restoration Shaman Guide. In this video, I will be going over spells and basic healing rotation. Keep in mind that for healers, there is no true rotation, just an understanding of how spells work together and when to use them during an encounter. I hope you all find this video helpful and be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you find it informative. Let's begin. Let's start with raids. Keep in mind that there is no perfect or right way to use your spells, and that all of these suggestions are my preferences based on personal research, results, and logs. My personal healing rotation favors a chain heal heavy rotation with ample focus on cooldowns, major and minor. In general, I always try to keep my minor cooldowns on cooldown. That includes Riptide, Healing Stream Totem, Healing Rain, and Cloudburst Totem when I take the talent. However, always be smart with your cooldown usage, even your minor cooldowns. For example, if you know that a large amount of damage is coming, such as the winds on Elethra, try to time your spells such as Healing Rain, Healing Stream Totem, and Cloudburst Explosion to match the incoming damaging ability. Also, keep in mind there are some fights where some minor cooldowns, like Healing Rain, are basically ineffective and not worth their mana, such as on Dragons and Emerald Nightmare. Also, while I try to maintain a chain heal heavy rotation, some fights like Dragons for example last longer than others, and people are more spread out. For fights like these, favoring a single target healing rotation may prove favorable in regards to numbers and mana consumption. Chain heal is an expensive ability, and on longer fights, using it too much may you quicker than you realize. Don't be afraid to cast Healing Wave if just 1 or 2 people are taking damage at a time. Fights like Mythic Odin come to mind, where I'm constantly switching between Chain Heal and Healing Wave to manage my mana and do the most effective healing. When single target healing, keep in mind that you always want to cast Riptide before you use Healing Surge, which I almost never use in a raid, or Healing Wave due to our Tidal Waves ability. Now let's talk about our cooldowns. As shamans, our major cooldowns are an extremely powerful part of our kit, and using them correctly will be the difference between a good healer and a bad one. When using your cooldowns, there are a few things to keep in mind. First of all, try to never stack your cooldowns. For most encounters, one of our cooldowns will always be strong enough to get through the brunt of the damage, disregarding a few fights like Il'gynoth as a major exception to this. Second, when looking at numbers and rankings, you always want to try to use your cooldowns as early as possible in a fight, so you can use them more times during the encounter and therefore do more healing during the encounter. Be vocal with your raid leader or healing lead and help them understand that due to the nature of our kit, using our cooldowns earlier in the fight and not stacking them when possible with other healers' cooldowns will help improve your numbers and the overall healing during an encounter. However, keep in mind that you should always listen to your raid leader, and sometimes you won't be able to use your cooldowns when you want, at least on progression. Numbers are important to a point, but killing the boss should be more important. You can always solo or dual heal during farm to get big ranks. All in all, raid healing is about understanding the encounter, your spells, and your strengths as a shaman. Always be sure to read your abilities and don't just take talents or use spells because someone like me has told you that they're the best. I encourage you to do your own testing and research and find out what works best for you and your raid comp. I also want to talk briefly about Mythic Plus healing. For all Mythic Plus dungeons, you're going to want to run Echo of the Elements and try to keep Riptide down on all of your targets if possible during times of heavy damage. You'll also find yourself using Chain Heal less and your single target heals more. I'll actually cast Healing Surge in Mythic Plus dungeons when I never would in a raid encounter. There are more opportunities to drink mana in a Mythic Plus dungeon, so using Healing Surge is less scary and more realistic. As always, keep Tidal Waves up with Riptide and drink when you can between pulls to stay on top of your mana. Don't be afraid to use your cooldowns on trash, as some abilities will be worse on trash than on bosses. Also, using your cooldowns on trash means that you'll save mana, and saving mana equals being able to pull more, and being able to pull more equals a quicker timer. And that about wraps it up. As always guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful for all of you Restoration Shamans out there. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you already haven't for more content like this. Be sure to let me know in the comments what part of Restoration Shaman Healing you want to hear me cover next. Also, as a note, we're really close to 500 subscribers, and once we hit that, I'll be doing a giveaway of an in-store mount or pet, so keep an eye out for that. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye, guys!